Hey guys, this is Bridgette Stilley, and welcome to Be Unfiltered. I am your hostess with the mostest. Here I'm sitting with my girl, Jenn. Hi.
Hey, girl,
Hey
hey.
girl, hey. So good to be back sitting with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining me on this particular episode. There's something I've been thinking about a lot, and I wanted to dedicate this episode to my story and my journey. I will get emotional. We're going to talk about loss today, and we're going to talk about grief and what I've been through, which I know you already know. But I think in the couple of the episodes I have said, if you know me, you know my story. So this is my story.
And I think it's so important because whether it be a loss of a person or a loss of a pet, we all have been through loss in some shape or form. So, of course, it's not the most fun thing. Like, you're like, yeah, let's talk about that. But it's important to not only share so people understand more about you, but also to become more relatable as well and maybe find connection there that you didn't know that you had maybe with someone, or they could find comfort in speaking to you. So
Absolutely.
it is an important topic for sure.
I love that. Yeah, it's when I think about it and people want to talk to me about it, I'm totally open. I have no problem with talking about all those things. That's why we are unfiltered.
Yes.
So let's get to it. So March of 2023, I lost my husband, EJ, in a tragic accident. And it actually is what has inspired this podcast. You come out of the cloud, and it's been 2.5 years. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Can't believe it. Like, this will be the third Christmas without him, the third birthday without him. And those are things that you think about every day. It may not look like it, but I do. I think about it every day. So losing him obviously was the, craziest, it's almost surreal thing that's happened in my life. And if it hadn't been, I've had a lot of loss. And so I kind of want to reverse a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about, this was not even your most recent, it was your most recent. I'm thinking back there because you've had several, which is, It's hard to have one, let alone several in a short amount of time. But let's take it back to when you were, I think you said in your teens, when you lost someone very close and important to you.
I was 19,
You're
turning
19.
20, and I lost my dad. And although my parents divorced when I was 3, I was always really close with my dad. And when I was 17, 18, and I was able to drive, I would go see him all the time. And we were two peas in a pod. My mom always said, "Oh, you're your mother's child, or your dad's child." And I was. And so in 1996, when he was a smoker, and I always kind of knew that it wasn't going to be. He had a stroke when I was 15, and so he wasn't really that healthy.
Okay.
But I was young, and I wasn't thinking. And he asked me for breakfast one day, and he said that he had a lump, and I knew in my heart that I was like, he's probably not going to last very long. At a young age, I was May is my birthday, so I was 19. He died June 22nd, 1996. When he told me that, 3 weeks later, he died. So at 20 years old, what do? For some reason, I had a very peaceful feeling about it. I went and saw him in the hospital. I was there. We gave him his last rites. I mean, crazy stuff that I think about. But I will tell you that it changed my life in so many positive ways. And what it did for me was I thought, I remember telling my mom, I could die tomorrow. And like, what did I do with my life? I have to go have fun. I have to go do this. I have to live my life. I want to see the world. Like, it made me so motivated to live life and not just let it pass by. And
Our current terminology of YOLO.
YOLO at 20.
Yeah.
Right. And we didn't have a lot of money growing up, but he had left me a little bit of little pot of gold in my eyes. It felt like $1 million. So I took a trip. I booked a trip to Maui, and I went to Maui for 2 weeks, just process, I guess, to go travel. And my sister always says, "You're a vagabond." And it's not that. It's just, I don't know. I want to see things. I want to talk to people. And so losing him, which I think about actually every day, which is wild because it'll be 30 years next June.
Yeah.
But I think about him every single day.
Aw.
And it's one of those things where you go through the motions of, okay, well, who's going to walk me down the aisle? Who's going to, so it's always with you. I will say that it's always with you, because now I'm like, he would have loved my kids.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. He loves sports. He would have loved watching the kids play soccer and football and all the things. So anyhow, that was probably the biggest pivotal point in my life that changed the direction of my life. Because I grew up in Simi Valley, California. It's a smaller town.
Mm-hmm.
And I never looked. I went to Hawaii, came back, and then I moved to Hawaii. Then I moved to San Diego, and then I just was gone. I was like,
And then
that's
you
it.
ended up here.
And I ended up in Florida. So I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if that hadn't happened to me. And I honestly believe that.
100%.
So it's like
Yeah.
you can take a tragedy and you can
You can stay where you're at, or you can do
and
something.
be sad,
Yeah.
or you can turn it.
Yep. Into something positive. For you, it was adventurous, and it was kind of figuring out where you wanted to be. And I think that does hit us a lot when something happens to someone we love or someone we know. It just reminds you, heck,
That's really important.
what is important? Life is so short.
It is so
and,
short.
I mean, we
And
can't
I truly walk that walk. And I
Yeah.
feel like people say that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, life's so short.
Yeah.
Let's get together. Bullshit. Like, are you really walking the
Yeah.
walk? And so that's kind of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so my walk started with that, right? And my journey took me all over the place, and I've met a lot of people, and so keeping in the loss.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 uncles, and I'm close with all of them. And my Uncle Mike, I'm really close with. He actually is he's the baby, so my mom's baby brother.
Did I meet him, or did I just meet Chuck? I just met
You met Chuck.
Chuck,
'Cause
not the
you-
baby brother.
You didn't meet he was
I don't-
here when, did I know you when EJ and I got married? You were not at our wedding.
We went to the same church, but I
did.
did not know you.
So I think we met right
Yeah.
after that. But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was here, and he was a
Okay.
photographer.
Mm,
Yeah, I
yes,
wouldn't-
honey.
He shot the wedding,
Aw.
and that was, he passed the next year.
Oh my.
He passed in 2017.
Okay.
So that was really devastating because we were really close, because I had lost my dad, and he was kind of like a dad, a friend, a confidant, someone I could call.
Yeah.
I mean, I called him all the time, and he never got to meet James, but he met Bella. That was a huge loss. So from 1996 to 2017, I'm living my life, and then boom, I get a call in the middle of the night, woke me up at 2 a.m, that my Uncle Mike had passed from a massive heart attack. And it was December 17th, so it was right before Christmas. That was a big loss. Our family, it hit us all hard, because my Uncle Mike was, like, I would say my person.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back to California for the service and everything, he was everybody's person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said, oh, he was my person. I'm like, no, he was my person. He had that ability to make you feel like you were just so special. And so
Yeah.
that was a big deal. But we got through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, okay, well, he's up with my dad.
Right.
And
And then also the time period in your life has something to do with it, because you have young kids. It's like you got to move on. You got to take care of them. It's like you're heartbroken, but you have to be strong. It's just that weight that you have to to balance while being so sad.
And you just don't have a choice, right? I mean, you do have a choice. I do. For me, it's not a choice, but for a lot of people, you can choose to sit back and let it consume you.
Yeah.
I know that, depression is, I think we all probably battle a little bit of depression. Clinically diagnosed, I've never been, but I know when there's those days you're just, I can't get out of bed or I'm not motivated and all those things. But for me, I feel like I just have to be stronger than that. I can't let that,
Yeah.
take over. Not that there's days that I don't feel that way and I don't want to do anything.
Right.
Of course there are. And then my mom was really close with him and my mom lives with me. And so that was really hard. I was trying to be there for her and the family and all that. And of course, EJ was there and with me. And one of the things he said to me is that in his life, he had never experienced loss. Everybody was alive.
Wow.
And I thought that was like so crazy because I'm like, oh, well, my dad died and this
Lucky,
person.
yeah.
I mean, he was blessed that he didn't, he had grandparents and all that. So fast forward a little bit later, I can't remember the year, maybe 2019. I have 4 uncles. I have a lot of cousins. I have a big family. And another heart of the family, my cousin David, passed away. And that, because we were only 5 years apart. And that was just wild, and I still think about it and I see his picture and I think, what?
I know.
How is that even possible? Right. And he was amazing. And we were really close. I say that. I'm always like really close with everybody, right?
You are.
I am. I'm like, they're my
When I
best friend.
first met you, we were walking down the street. I'm like, you know everybody, but you're just that type of person. It's just like your uncle, just such a good vibe and, as the kids say, positive aura.
I got aura. Apparently I got aura. No.
She's got positive aura.
Because,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, this is one of the reasons why, is because of what I've gone through.
Yeah.
I look at a glass overflowing every day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people look at it that it's empty or it's half full. I know it's like a metaphor, but for me, that's kind of, the glass is always full and overflowing, no matter what happens in my life.
And that was probably integral when, EJ's mom started getting sick and you both were caretaking for her. It's like you had that positivity, but hey, he hadn't experienced loss and this was his mom. And
That's the next loss of the journey of,
sure.
When I met EJ, his parents are just, I was like, this is not real.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up that way. And his mom welcomed me with open arms, Melody.
Yeah.
Just the sweetest, nicest, do anything for you. And I was pregnant with James, so that would be 2013. She was diagnosed with dementia. And it was just devastating.
Yeah.
So devastating. But she, almost 9 years later, she, ended up passing. But that journey was tough. That was hard.
It's like a loss, but they're still alive. It's like a what do you call it? Progressive loss.
Right.
Not a sudden loss, a progressive loss.
So I've dealt with, my dad tells me he has a lump and 3 weeks later, boom, he's gone. So is that?
It doesn't make it any better, no, but I feel like.
But then if I would have watched him, because he had cancer, get sick and do all those things in hospice, like that would have been
hard,
heart-wrenching too. So, I mean, I can't change, what has happened, but with my mother-in-law, who's really, really, really close with and just adored her all the way to the end, even when she would look at me and, did she know who I was? I think so. We lost her and that was hard. That was, really hard on my father-in-law. They were married, 50 years, been together since they were high school. So that was really hard on the family. My father-in-law was struggling with, he had broke his hip and just a lot there was a lot going on in our lives. And so this is going to lead me up to EJ and what happened. Cause I think, so just so everybody knows, this is very therapeutic for me. I believe in talking about these things. A lot of people are hush hush. They don't want to talk about it. Why do you think?
I think it mainly may be because it's uncomfortable for that person. Maybe they're not at the level that some people may have to be okay to talk about it, or they don't want to get sad. They don't want to feel that emotion. But it is good, like you said, to talk about it and release that emotion, talk it over and over, whether it be with your friends or family. Because you said it's therapeutic. It helps you feel better.
It really does.
In the end.
Even talking about my dad, it's been almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Talking about him makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It's like,
for sure.
I don't know the psychology behind it, but it really does. And I enjoy talking about him. He's part of me. And I think when people pass, life is so fast that they get forgotten. And that makes me sad.
I don't like that either.
I hate that.
For sure.
I don't ever want someone to be forgotten.
No.
But it's easy to move on because we have lives and, we're in the trenches with our kids and all that. So with EJ, we'll talk a little bit about him. I want to tell you, how I met him in 2010, September 29th. So last week was our 15-year anniversary of the day we met. Because that day my life changed. I was with him ever since. And 6 months later, I was pregnant with Bella, who was planned. Everybody's like, ask me that. And I always say, oh, yeah, we were ready. We knew it was it.
You were older, been there, done that. You knew it was.
I was kind of a cougar. I'm 2 years older than him. I always laugh about that.
Yeah.
So 2010, I met him and then found out I was pregnant March 1st of 2011. And then Bella, our beautiful Isabella, was born in October. And then we decided we want another baby right away within 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was very important to him to have a boy. Thank God I had the boy the second. Or I'd have 4 girls right now or something. You know how that works. So we, and what's funny is my mother-in-law would tell me all these things on how to make it happen.
Boy.
I'm like, your mom is telling me some things.
But it worked.
Right?
You
Whatever
did.
she said
Listen
worked.
to your mama.
I listened to your mama. She knew, but it was funny. I'll never forget those conversations. And so we had James.
And it's funny because you had the boy, but he looks just like you.
Yep.
And then Bella, the girl, looks just like
her
daddy,
daddy.
EJ.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I don't think James looks like me, only because he has brown eyes. But I know like the face and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and your gumption, he's always like, go, 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 get out there, do all the things.
He is just like me.
And he loves it all, and sometimes too much.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But James is,
so he got his boy.
He's got his boy,
Yeah.
and then we decided to get married.
Yeah.
So we actually got married in 2016, which my Uncle Mike and my Uncle Chuck came out for the wedding. My sister was there. My best friend, Christy, that I grew up with, was there. Monica flew. It was a great time. We had a great, I'm so glad that we got married. He wanted to get married on our anniversary, September 29th, so we could just keep that date.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out. And we ended up getting married February 13th, which, because my uncles were visiting my mom, I was like, we should get married. It was 8 weeks away. So I planned this wedding and he thought I was crazy. I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I'm so thankful because my uncle passed the next year. Like,
wow.
Literally a year later, my Uncle Mike. So he wouldn't have been there if we would have waited for that, whatever, to be the right time. It's never the right time. So our wedding anniversary is basically Valentine's Day. But we always would count the 29th because that was when life changed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so fast forward, we lose Nana, which was devastating in the family. We also lost his aunt to cancer, and we also lost his cousin. So in a short amount of time, my kids have experienced overwhelming amount of loss.
At a young age.
At a very young age. Bella was
9
11.
or 11.
Bella was 11 when she lost her daddy, and James was 9.
9.
But they had already lost their Nana an aunt, an uncle, and a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. And so let's talk about, this was not a you and EJ trip. This was a
No.
group trip. Like we
Take a
were
little sippy here.
all going on this group trip. We were all so excited, closest friends. We were going somewhere I had never been before. Had you ever been?
I had been to Nashville.
Okay.
Yes. We had gone
So-
for my friend Echo,
Yeah.
her 40th birthday.
Okay.
So we had been and done all
Yeah.
the things in the bars and all that.
So that's where we went. We went to Nashville. We flew there together, and we started the shenanigans that
7 a.m.
adults without kids do, right? We were excited to get away. We didn't have the kids with us. We had a lot of things planned, and we all were on the plane together, having
Your sister, Sarah and Danny, were driving in to meet us.
from Georgia. They drove.
It was a big deal because it was
Yeah.
in March and we hadn't done anything. We
Yeah.
had this trip planned for about 3 months.
Yep.
And we had gone through, and EJ and I think his dad had broke his hip on New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Around
Remember
that
he broke his
time.
hip?
Yep.
So we had been dealing with that and trying to help him. And, so this trip was such a big deal for us. Just
Yep.
get away. And leaving your kids for 3 days is also,
Oh yeah, it's
a big
nerve-wracking.
deal.
All the things.
yeah. So
So we get there, we check into the hotel. We kind of had this plan that the girls would kind of hang together and the guys would kind of hang together for day one. The girls, of course, wanted to go to
oh my gosh.
the Dolly Bar.
Dolly
and,
Parton's bar.
And the guys
so
didn't
good.
want to do
No,
that.
of course not. So they went walking around
Yeah.
like you do and having
Yeah.
a good time.
And we had a fantastic day. I
Really
mean,
did. Even like when we got to the hotel,
yeah.
we sat down and had lunch
did.
and we were having champagne and the hotel was so cool, right in the heart of everything. The rooms were great. It was a great day.
It was. It
was.
started
It
out to
was.
be for sure. And
And who does EJ look like? Do you remember what
oh,
everybody says who he
I
looks
wish
like?
I had a picture.
I do on my phone, and I just Tim McGraw.
Yeah,
So when
with the
EJ
black hat on.
if EJ has a black cowboy hat,
yes,
people think he's Tim McGraw
for sure.
which is hilarious.
At River Ranch, when he rocked that outfit, we were like, "Stop it right now!" The way he'd like close his mouth and kind of tip his head down.
Yeah.
I have some great pictures.
Yeah,
of him.
no,
He
I just
does
was looking
look-
at them because Tim McGraw came up on my feed
Yeah.
on Facebook, and I said, "James, who does this look like?" And James looked at it, and I said, "Daddy," and he's like, "What?" And I go, "Watch," and I
Yeah.
showed him that picture that you took, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Wow,"
Yeah,
because people would come up to him,
yeah,
and he would go with it.
yeah.
And I'm like,
I think that did happen that weekend.
"It did." No, it
did.
happened in the lobby,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh God, here we go."
I know.
He's eating it up. I'm like,
sure.
"Really, Tim McGraw?"
yeah,
I'm like, and I'm Faith, isn't that his wife?
yeah.
So, but no, we were having a really good time. We had a great time at Dolly's.
For sure.
I think we jacked some silverware, some salt and
a
pepper
little
shaker.
a little votive candle. Why is it always a good idea to like snag stuff when you're
Well,
having
I take the
some
silverware
drinks?
because of my aunt.
Yeah,
My aunt Lynn
I think
has.
it was really good, heavy silverware.
It was.
It's
She
like-
has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave it to her
Yeah.
because I brought it home and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, I didn't really want it anymore. Anyhow.
Yeah.
But
We
I
had
got it for
matching
her.
jacket,
We-
pink jackets,
Pink leather jacket.
matching purses.
We had we were, that's how we vacation. We have
Yeah.
fun. And this is the
a lot of fun.
multiple vacations with this group. This is just what we did.
Yeah,
Right. So we get back
Mm-hmm.
and we decide to have dinner in the lobby. They're playing music. And of course, if anybody knows EJ, he's the life of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the loudest around, maybe. I don't know. And maybe that's my perception, maybe because I'm like, be quiet.
yeah.
And they were playing, I think it was Megan and Ryan's wedding song. Do you remember that?
They were playing a certain song, and then what did he do? Do you remember?
Do you remember?
Yeah.
He got up on the mic, didn't he?
Well, he got up. He went and talked to the guy, and he
Didn't
gave
he pay him like $100?
Yeah, he gave him money, $50 or $100. I forgot, but he gave him money to play your wedding song. I
Oh,
think that was it. I think
was it our wedding
to
song?
to play your wedding song. And then he came back and you're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I just gave that guy money." You're
And
like,
I'm
"You
like,
what?"
but that's EJ. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
he
God. Like, it doesn't
totally,
surprise me.
yeah, generous in every aspect. It doesn't matter what it was, the generosity.
Yeah.
And that was him like, play this for my wife. And that's what he did.
And that
Yeah.
was, you know, the final moments.
It was.
His life, right? And so what I love that we're laughing and we're having a good time. And that was the last day of his, you know, that he was alive physically, right? So we sit down to eat. We have this beautiful, you know, filet mignon and all this good food. And we're eating and I look over and he's not breathing, or he's slumped over. And I looked at him and I was like, hey. And I started hitting him like, wake up. And long story short, he had taken too big of a bite of his steak and it somehow got lodged and he stopped breathing. I don't really know, you know, how that could have happened. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyhow, we quickly put him on the ground, CPR, all the things, all the life-saving measurements that you do right at that time. People in the hotel running over, 911 was called. It went very fast. And they came and, you know, and I was on the ground. I don't know if you remember what you were doing or what I was doing.
We were kind of checking on him and then coming to comfort you because I remember you just kept saying, "What is happening? What is happening?" And
I was like hitting the ground. I feel like
nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew what had
It
happened.
was just so you go from one extreme to the other and you don't know what's happening. And they got him in an ambulance and I got into a police car. Thinking about it sounds like I'm talking about a movie.
I know.
I did not go through that.
It was definitely like a movie, and you weren't allowed in the ambulance.
Wasn't allowed in the ambulance.
So you
They followed me there, and we got to the nearest hospital. And mind you, we're in Nashville. We're at great hospitals. We're, you know, 5-10 minutes away. And by the time we got to the hospital, and they, you know, we were all just. It was just chaotic. It was chaotic. And we're all freaking out and we don't know what's happening. And they brought me into the room where he was and they had to intubate him.
Intubate, yeah.
Right, they intubated him. So he looked like he was sleeping. And I went in there and I was like, what is happening? And so that was Friday, March 4th, 2023. And, you know, quickly I called his sisters and my sister and his dad. I think maybe Ryan might have called them all. I knew it was serious. I knew it's something. I don't know if I have this. Is it intuitive? Whatever you call it.
Intuition.
I just knew.
Yeah.
I knew this was not good. Same thing that happened to my dad when my dad told me I have a lump in my groin, and I was like, he ain't gonna last very long. And I was right. There's something about seeing him that I thought, this is not good. If he recovers and he wakes up, it's not gonna be good.
Right.
I just had this bad feeling. So, you know, they moved him to ICU and I spent all night with him. I never left his side. They made me leave his side to go sleep, obviously. But his sisters arrived the next day. My sister flew in the next evening. And his cousin actually was a nurse in that hospital. Insane, right? So she was there. It was really, really important to me to have his family there. My sister-in-law, Sherry, and my sister-in-law, Heidi, to be with me because they're, you know, Sherry's in the medical field. Her boyfriend's a surgeon. So she was very pivotal. That's
No,
not even the word that I'm thinking of. She was very
integral, like very important part of that whole process.
No, the whole process.
Yeah.
And I had this weird calm, like I felt like I had this shield around me. I don't know if that was like God protecting me, but I was very just focused on him. She was talking to the doctors, and I'm over here. So anyhow, I don't want to get into much detail because I want to protect his privacy and my children's privacy. So everybody in Nashville, so I'm going to start getting upset. Will you tell me, like, what were y'all doing? What were you thinking? I mean, what was happening? Because
it was, not even fathoming what kind of night you were having. We all just got together as a group and prayed and did the same in the morning. I mean, waking up, trying to get to sleep and then waking up and realizing like, yeah, this really happened. And I even called my dad. I was hysterical to my dad. It's just like, our friend, like, how did this happen? We're in a different state and this is what's going on. And we didn't have many details at that point.
Yeah.
We all still had hope. We definitely were like, if we're in a good hospital, we're in a good place. Like he's going to come out of this. So all we could do,
get my tissue.
I know, same girl. All we could do that day was wait.
Same. It was like this waiting game, and the doctors just said, we have to keep him sedated until we can, figure this out.
Right.
So that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah.
And so that was Friday, and then that Sunday, it was really, and I know in ICU, they don't let people in.
Yeah.
And I asked if I could get you guys there.
Mm-hmm.
That meant a lot. That was a big deal.
No, that was a big deal for us because a lot
so
of
they
time,
all came.
Yeah.
They all came to the hospital.
Yeah.
Your husband is the best. He brought the music, because EJ loved music and he loved cooking. And
specifically what group, though? He played
the movement?
Yeah.
Is that what he played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played the songs
reggae
that EJ liked and
over and over. And so we kept that radio. And, we had cooking shows on the TV and just talking to him. Y'all came in, and that meant a lot, and I know that was probably really hard for everybody. But I'm so thankful now that you guys didn't just get on the plane and go back home. I think for your closure, maybe, I don't know if that was good or not, to be able to see him.
It was amazing. We were glad for that opportunity. A lot of times in that situation, I don't know if I would have been able to share in my grief or share with people when things like that were happening. But you shared that time with us, and we were forever grateful that we saw him, one last time, hugged him, touched him, prayed, sang, joked, laughed, all the things.
Yeah. And so that was Sunday. And then
we flew home Monday.
Yeah, you flew home Monday, and Tuesday he passed.
Yeah,
Tuesday he passed. I was talking about this earlier to you. You never know when you take your wedding vows, right? And they have that little thing at the end, till death do us part, right? And you always think that that's going to happen when we're 80 or 70. Little do you, those words just resonated with me, and there was something very peaceful, and I kept saying that to my sisters that were all there. I said, I don't know why I have this peaceful feeling, because I know he's not here anymore. I know that he's gone, and now it's like you go into, now what am I going to do? And that's how my brain works, is now I have to, I always knew. Right, let me back up. So he passed, and it was such an honor to be there when he took his last breath. I don't know why it makes me feel good, because it probably should be the saddest thing that's ever happened, and it is. And don't get me wrong, it's freaking sad, and it sucks, and I would, but that's what happened to me.
Right.
I lived it. But to be able to honor somebody, to hold somebody, to be there for them till death do you part. I truly was there. And that's helped me move on to the next stage, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
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 And I always knew I was going to be okay because I'm a survivor. I never thought of that. I don't feel like I'm a survivor, but because I've had a great life.
You are.
Because I feel like survivors should be people that had like shitty lives.
No.
But I guess I have to look at it differently.
Rough life, shitty life, all the hard things. I mean, it just doesn't even have to be loss. It's just some people have a hard life and they either succumb to it or they rise above it and change the path. They break that chain. And I think when you lost EJ and we all realized like this was our goodbye, that we were just enamored by your strength and ability because, like you said, you have to. It's not just you; it's your kids and
that was the hardest part.
Yeah, the kids.
The kids. You know, if we didn't have any kids, it would have been so different.
Yeah.
But thank God we had kids, and thank God we were blessed with the most amazing, resilient, just they're incredible, you know?
Yeah.
So I've said this a few times over the couple years is I knew I was going to be okay, but this was next level, you know, because I've had significant loss in my life. But having to tell my children, whew, that was rough. That was rough. And they're amazing, you know, like obviously it wasn't great. I will say that Bella went to school 2 days later.
I remember that. So crazy.
So,
Now you got talking about them. Gosh.
Yeah, it gets you.
They're such good kids.
They have been through, and you would never know it, right?
Yeah.
You would never know it.
I mean, and the fact that you're able to talk with them, I think that's one thing that I admire the most is it's not a sore subject. It's not something that happened and we never talk about. It's like we talk about them. Oh, EJ used to do this. Oh my gosh, EJ would have loved this. Or all in front of them, we say, oh, your dad this and your dad that.
All the time.
And you're like,
every
daddy
day.
this.
I'm like, oh, daddy this, daddy that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so many times it's just a mute thing after someone passes because you don't want to ruffle feathers or you don't want to cause tears.
you don't want someone to get upset and all that. But I think it does the opposite.
Yeah.
So if you avoid it and you don't talk about it, then it's really weird. But if you talk about him, you know, in the past, obviously, it doesn't make it so sad. It's sad. It's sad no matter what you do. If you don't talk about it or if you do talk about it, it is always going to be sad.
For sure.
But it's something that is with me every single day.
Yeah.
You may not think that I think about him. And you've said this because one of the things of why I'm sitting with Jenn is because Jenn was there. Jenn and I live 5 houses from each other.
Yeah.
We're colleagues, we're friends, we're family. We have been through it. You were the first person I came to after, you know, being home. I was like, I needed a moment. Obviously, I was kind of hunkered down. But just talking to you I said, can I just come and sit on your dock with you and just chat? So you've always been there for me. And God, that makes me.
Nights around the fire pit.
Yeah,
I mean,
just talking about him. And you opened your home up to his friends. And you took so many, you know, you helped me honor him, you know, because then you go into this, all right, now I have to have a funeral. Now I have to do all these things. You know, it was wild. It was wild. And we sent him off in EJ's style.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was, so EJ's a really big FSU Seminole, like just diehard Seminole. I mean, he would go to blows with you with the Gators if you know, it was bad. It was bad. If you know him, then you would know what I'm talking about. And 95% of the people in this town are Florida Gators. And it drove him crazy. But the one thing when we planned his memorial service, his celebration of life at the church, was I requested that everybody wear Seminole colors. And I kid you not, it was a sea of garnet and gold. I mean, it was insane. People that are they just don't like the Seminoles. Like, I did it for EJ.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really.
For sure.
I wore a garnet dress. Bella wore a garnet dress. I look back, and I haven't looked. You shot the video of the church service and of the reception. I have not gone back and watched it. I have it. I thank you so much. I've sent it to his sisters. I don't think anybody's able to see it.
Yeah.
I will, of course, with my kids. But I remember that day very vividly, standing up there and speaking. And that was really important to me. I think I do not like public speaking, which is wild because I'm sitting here on a podcast.
Yes.
And I don't like standing up in front of crowds, but I will talk to everybody and their mother, and I have the gift of talking. But for some reason, standing up in front of people, where it's rehearsed, I don't like that. I like off the cuff.
And for your husband's funeral, I mean, standing up there, I just lost it. And you were up there poised and spoke so well. So I think watching back that video and seeing how well you handled it.
I knew maybe I will. Maybe I'll do it this week.
Yeah.
Well, the drive behind that, and I wrote what I wrote that morning.
Wow.
I wrote what I wrote that morning. I'm usually prepared at the last minute because it's got to be raw in what I'm feeling. It was for the children. It was for Bella and James. I wanted them, and I still want them to see how strong I am because someone told me, at the beginning, what you do is what they'll do. So they're going to follow your lead. And it is so, if I could get that to anybody, they will follow your lead. If you sit in bed and lay in bed all day and you're depressed, they're going to see that and they're going to follow you. They're going, oh, mom's depressed, mom's this. But if they see you wake up every day and that's where I get my grit. That's where I get but there was times, of course, where they would go to school and I'd get back in bed and I'd just watch TV because, it's like, it was hard. It was really hard. How do you, we were the Stilly team. We were a real estate team. Our lives were so, imagine, so I kind of went into like a business. And thank God I have a really good support system with my family. And my brother-in-law was very helpful and still is very helpful with navigating. How do you, you have to separate. Yeah. I had to sell his car. I had to sell our boat.
Do the business thing.
The business stuff. So there was a lot that I was able to be distracted with. But then a year goes by and then.
Yeah. There was one thing that I think it is something that James did that I hadn't heard of before that I think really helped him along the way with EJ's calling EJ. Can you tell us about that?
What do you mean calling EJ?
He called his phone.
Oh, yeah. He's called his phone. Bella texts him, sends him messages. Yeah, I don't really remember that.
He did that. I remember you telling me that for a while that he would call EJ's phone because you didn't disconnect it or anything.
I still have it.
I
still have it. I know. Bella asked me not to get rid of it, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then she texts him. I don't know if she still does, but texts him.
It's a creative way for kids. I mean, leaving a message for daddy or just hearing his voice on the recording. I just thought that was really cute and creative of James and Bella to do.
He's definitely the one that doesn't really want to dive deep, and she wants to dive deep.
Right.
Yeah. They're both very different. And we've gotten into a really good groove. For the first year, it was rough. It was tough.
Yep.
It was learning how to do everything. Me being a single mom, me being a widow, which I do not like that word.
I know.
Why is it? It just sounds, but it gets the point across.
For sure.
If I say I'm a widow, people go, like their butt cheeks go like this. And I don't like that.
It's
So
back to that point where what do I say?
they're like, oh, she's a widow.
and being like, oh, like we don't like that, right? When you're like,
Yes.
oh, like
Oh, I used to tell you that. I would go to the
Yeah.
grocery store
you're like,
and people would
"Oh."
see me and they go, oh, and
Like,
I'm
what
like,
do you
no, don't do
say?
that. And
Yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest things that would drive me crazy
Yeah.
because that means you're sad.
And it's
Oh.
hard for those that are not going through the loss to hear about it. And then what do you say? It's like,
Yeah.
do they stay away? Do they come to you? Do they, are they like, oh, or they're like, I am so sorry. But then if I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry for your loss. So, were you in the produce section picking out some bananas?
That happened to me.
Yeah. It's
Happened
like,
at
what do
the
you
deli.
say?
Well,
Yeah.
and that was one of the things I was taking some notes of. Let's talk about what to say and what not to say.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So what to say is, I think the best thing is, and Pastor Jason said it, is you say, I don't know what to say. You just say that. It's so simple.
Yeah.
One of the things not to do is to stay away, because by being silent says everything. And I'm mature enough to know that people usually just don't know what to say.
Right.
And, I was overwhelmed with cards and flowers. People from junior high back in
Right.
California sending me bouquets. People on my real estate team making me chimes, and people I had no idea come out of the woodworks
Yeah.
and send you money
And food and,
and
gift
food.
cards.
The food
and-
was great. You
Yeah.
guys still send me food. That'd be great.
We can still keep that coming.
I mean, because he was the chef of the
Yeah.
house. So I
He
had to learn how to cook.
was.
Not that I didn't know how to cook, but I didn't
Yeah.
cook for 13
Yeah,
years.
he
did
loved
He
it.
loved it.
It wasn't because he had to. I mean, he grew
was
up
his-
with it. He loved it. It
It
was
was
his
therapeutic
passion.
for him. Yeah. So now I do all the cooking and I
Yeah.
really do enjoy it. And I
You're
love
good at
cooking.
it.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good.
Yes, girl.
And
You
I
can
channel
do all
him.
the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do all.
Yeah,
the
all the
Yeah, I'm
things.
mom, dad, and
Yep.
all the things. What not to say, I would say, what pops is like asking me what happened. Like I've had people stop me at Dollar General that they were like, I didn't even really know them,
Yeah.
and they want to know like details.
I know.
Something that happened to Bella that really bothers me is one of her teachers. He said something about your dad, and she said, oh, my dad passed away. And he's like, oh, well, how did he die? Like he wanted to know all the
Yeah,
details. A
yeah.
teacher to a 12-year-old.
Right.
And now she's like, I hate it when someone asks me about my dad, because they don't know. And it's a natural question. Oh, so what does your dad do? Or what is your dad? And then she'll say, oh, my dad passed. And so it's like that, you make people uncomfortable, and it's just a natural thing. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it now that I'm in the position.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a neighbor that drives by my house every day, maybe 5 months ago, walking by and says, hey, I'm so sorry about and I was taking out the trash. I was so caught off guard. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry about your husband. I didn't know what to say. And I'll tell you right now, I don't give two whats in my life now. I will tell you the biz. I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
Mama bear.
Good or bad. Because I just don't, it's not that
Yeah.
I don't care, but I don't care. And I said, well, by not saying anything says a lot. It's been a couple years now, and you're just now, I go, you should have
Yeah.
just said, I don't know what to say. I said that to her, and
Yeah.
she looked at me like,
Stunned.
yeah. So, but maybe next time that something happens, she won't, because I thought she doesn't really give a shit. She just happened to see me taking the trash out and felt uncomfortable because she never said anything.
Yep.
So I wouldn't want to be that person's friend anyways. Oopsie. I said what I said.
You said what you said.
I said what I said.
No.
So
Yeah.
do you have something else? 'Cause
No, I was
I was
just
gonna go on.
saying, all in all about, death and grief and how everybody handles it. I guess there really is no right way or no outline. Everyone was brought up differently. Everyone was taught differently how to manage it, how to handle it,
And different
what they
beliefs.
saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, different beliefs. And but I feel that if you really know the person who death affected or loss affected, that for sure you should try to be there in some capacity. I think for our group that was there, that was obviously next level, that we felt comfortable talking through it, talking about it, but someone on the outside, like I said before, I never really knew how to deal with it. And then it was kind of almost